So it's great that you have evidence from your story. That's the first step. Now we need to examine whether or not you should quote or paraphrase your evidence. First, I'm going to explain what a quote is, what a paraphrase is very quickly, and then we're going to talk about how do you decide should you use their words or should you use your own words. So, first of all, quote is words from something else copied and pasted with quotation marks around it. So this is an example from the story. That last sentence says, accidentally hit Miss Morris in the shoulder with the water bottle. So an example of a quote would be, the text stated that Marshmallow and Jello accidentally hit Miss Morris in the shoulder with a water bottle. Pretty self-explanatory. If you're using someone else's words, you put it in quotes, and that's called a quote. Paraphrase, on the other hand, is using the idea or fact from something else and putting it into your own words, and you still have to cite it. So an example of that would be, instead of the quote you just saw, it would be, it's stated in the text that Marshmallow and Jello didn't hit Miss Morris on purpose. All that's my own words. I didn't use the words from the text, so that's called a paraphrase. So the question is, should you quote it or should you paraphrase it? How do you know? I have a pretty handy tool to kind of figure out which route to go. So the first question to ask the only question you need to ask yourself is, do I want to include this evidence because your point is about explaining the fact, idea, or action? So like maybe a part of the story you want to explain, maybe you want to explain some scientific fact or concept. If that's the case, paraphrase it. You don't need to quote it, just put it in your own words. But if your point is that an expert agrees with you, so like a doctor agrees with you, and you want to show that somebody else agrees with you, then you should probably quote it. You use their words with quotation marks around it. The other option for quoting something would be if your point that you're trying to make is about the actual words that they're using. So like you can see he wasn't taking responsibility the moment he said whatever the quote is, then you want to quote it. So you use their words with quotation marks. Pretty simple. Look back at your own evidence in your essay and look, should you have quoted what you said or should you have paraphrased? And if you find that you did it incorrectly, then fix it. Today and every day, anytime you use evidence, go through this flow chart in your head and figure out, should you quote it or should you paraphrase it?